Alright, so in this video we'll look at color sorting. I have to be honest, this is not my favorite and it's a little chaotic and you'll see why, but we're going to go through it just so I can show people. And maybe your image data set will be better than the one I'm working with. So I'm working with this data set of 50s fabrics. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. I can't. Let's just look at it here. So I'll just open up one of these. See, I've got these like fabric swatches. They're all very colorful, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to just see what happens when the machine learning model tries to sort them. We'll see. Okay, so what you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to create a copy your folder. So again, this could be inside your Google Drive. I'll actually add a cell here to connect to Google Drive for those of you that want that. You'll then just put in the path to that folder of images. And then you want to set up an output path. I've already run this and I've already set it up, so it's here. It's called 50s fabric sorted. Then you're just going to run the cell. So one note is, depending on how large your images are, the larger your images are, the longer it takes for this to run. I've already run this, and it actually took me about 4 minutes, and I believe there's some like 200 images, and they're all like roughly 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. If you have like 4K images, I would definitely recommend sorting them and actually making them smaller, resizing them all before running this process. Maybe if I have time between now and the beginning of class, I'll add some cells to do that work, but for now I would just say like it's better to just make sure your images aren't that large. Again, 200 images, 1,000 by 1,000 took 4 minutes, so it's not that long of a process, but if you've got 2,000 images that are all 4K, it will take a while. So you're going to run this cell, and what will happen is it'll generate a folder, and inside that folder will be this numbered image, and then your sort of the file name that you already have, and then your output. One thing to also note is this will not change your file extensions. So if you upload JPEGs or PNGs, and then it'll convert them to JPEGs or PNGs. It'll keep whatever extension you already have. That's going to be important for when we create our video, so just keep that in mind. One other note is if your images are different sizes, I think that will likely break. I haven't confirmed that, but I would definitely recommend, if you can, make all your images the exact same size. Even if you have to like dump them into After Effects or Premiere and then render out a video that way and then separate them into frames. One of those things. Because in general, I don't think this will work well if you have different sized images in the video creation part, less the image sorting part. Anyway, this is going to run, and then at the very end, what you want to do, you'll see here, this will spit out the hue values. So this is sorting by hue, and as we'll see, this is a little problematic, but in general, sorting by hue is fine. At least it gives you some values. So you can sort of see here we've got a series of hues. Once you've got that, you can then generate your video from this. So for this, you want to set, again, the frame rate. You're going to set your file extension. So because I'm using JPEGs, I want to set a JPEG. And then you're going to set a output path. So again, this will be your video path. This will create a ProRes HQ video file. So use .mov extension. Use a .mp4 extension, you will get an error message or like it won't work. So just make sure you use a .mov. You'll run that. And then at the end, you're going to have an output video. So let's take a look at our output video and actually kind of see why this is a little problematic for us. So I'll open this up. And when I play through this, it doesn't really look like it's sorted by color. Now, there's a reason for this. One is when you sort by hue, or actually when you do k-means clustering in general. K-means clustering is going to find the most dominant color in your data set, or in each image, and then use that. Now that most dominant color could be black, it could be white, it could be one of these colors. And when we're just looking at HSV, when we just look at hue, you could be looking at a color that's black but has a very slight red tint to it. And that would be a hue of like 0 or 1, because you're only looking at the hue, you're not looking at the value or the saturation level. Similarly, it could be bright white, and you are getting the, like with a little bit of pink in it or something. So you might get a predominantly black image that has a little bit of red in it, and then next to it a predominantly white image that has a little bit of red in it. And not much you can do about that. Like, this is just sorting by hue. There's probably a way where we could like weight our sorts, so you have it sort by both hue and value and saturation and provide some sort of weighting mechanism. That's going to introduce its own problems, because it's not like, you know, averaging those values or weighting those values according to things isn't going to necessarily fix this. So you could also try to sort by value, in which case you'll just go from dark to light, which actually might look better for a for like a video, because dark to light is our brain will kind of understand that a little bit better, but it might not have hue, or it might have to sort by starting by value and then going to the hue, or starting by value, then going to hue, then going to saturation. There's ways you could do this, but I just want to show this is a very simple way. I set this up just using, I believe inside of Colab, there's like a Gemini code creation tool. I just use that. It generated like decent code in like a couple minutes. So maybe I'll go through and play with this a little bit more. If you're interested in playing with this, you definitely can. You just might get results that are unexpected because of how the sorting mechanism works. So just keep that in mind. But I do think there's actually something really interesting in this, and I think there's more we could do with this, and maybe, I don't know, if I have more time in the next couple weeks, I might try to fill this out a little bit more and maybe try to approximate what our eye sort of perceives as color shifts. But it's a little bit tricky depending on your data set and depending on how your images are made. But either way, it's interesting, worth playing with. So I'll share this notebook in the YouTube video links as well. You can give it a shot and see if it works for your data set. All right, that's it for me now. We'll look at more tutorials soon.